What's up? So in this video, I'm going to share with you why I take my health so seriously and why I think everyone else should too. So I'm just going to share from my point of view how I view it, right? Because hopefully when you're watching this, it can make the connections for you between where you are now and where you want to be, okay? So for me personally, one of my biggest motivations with my health is to never ever go and spend time in a hospital. Right? And the reason I share this is because when my late grandma passed away, before that we had to go visit the hospital many times, right? She passed away 9 years ago at recording this video of breast cancer, which eventually got into her bone and spread, unfortunately. And that was a big turning point for me to make me realize, I didn't actually take action on it, but I realized in my mind that it's really important for me to focus on my health because I don't want to end up in the hospital, right? And I don't want to end up sick. And I looked at everyone else in the hospital and I saw how they couldn't move properly and they're in hospital and they're dependent on other people. Like, I don't want to have to be dependent on other people for my well-being, right? And that's a big motivator of mine. I want to be independent long into my old age. And in fact, I had a call with a guy and he was the fittest person in his family and he was 65 years old and he wanted to get even more lean. And I was like, that's interesting. And he's like, yeah, I want to get more lean because I want to be an even bigger inspiration to my entire family tree of what's possible when you actually focus and put your mind to something. And the health is the bedrock of everything because you can have 10 million, 20 million, 30 million. And a lot of my clients make 8 figures a year, so 10 million plus a year. And the reason why they hire me is because they understand that without their health, without being able to really enjoy your physical body, the wealth doesn't mean as much. And that's an interesting thing that I was never aware of until I started enrolling high-level people, like multi-millionaires, right? And the reason why they see value in what I'm doing is because they understand, now that they have the money, they understand, oh shit, I actually need to enjoy this money. And I'm actually just burning myself out, working and working and working, but actually I don't have time to enjoy the money, first of all, and I don't have time to enjoy my body. So now I've got to get my body right so I can actually, de-stress my life so I'm not going to get chronic diseases when I'm older, because stress manifests itself in chronic diseases. So a lot of people that have chronic illnesses, it's the result of stress, okay? And there's lots of research on this. Andrew Huberman talks about this. Dr. Gabor Mate talks about this. It's like the issues are in the tissues. There's a book called The Body Keeps the Score. So stress manifests itself in chronic illnesses like Alzheimer's, cancer, diabetes. Well, not so much diabetes, but heart disease. All these issues, brain tumors, all that stuff, right? A lot of it's to do with stress. And so understanding that and focusing on your health whilst you're continually building your wealth is what I believe the main thing. So for me, that's like the foundation, right? So it's interesting because a few months ago I was in Thailand and one of my mentors, he was like,
dude, have you ever thought about just getting fat and then going and getting lean again?
And it is interesting because it made me think about how attached I am to my identity of being lean. Right now, I'm 8% body fat, right? I just took a test the other day and I'm 8% body fat. So this is what 8% looks like, by the way, just so you know. And I've been 8% for the last 4 years. Like 4 years ago, I took a test and I was 8% body fat. And he said to me, why don't you just get fat for 3 months? Why don't you just eat whatever you want for 3 months? And I was like, I can't do that. Like, I was so attached to my identity as this guy, right? Because it serves me. It gives me a clear mind, clear skin. It makes me produce well in my life. And it gives me the energy I need. And it gives me the muscle mass I want. The organ of longevity is muscle. And so I'm actually happy when I'm in this body. And to put on weight would just be, that's actually what I'm trying to move away from, right? I'm not trying to be the fat guy because that doesn't take any effort. But actually the ironic thing is, for me, my position, that would take effort for me to actually be fat, right? Same way for you, maybe it's going to take effort for you to get 8% body fat, which is fair, right? But the point is, what I love the most about health and taking it seriously is not so much just for the outwardly aesthetics, like how I look. That's a bonus for me. What I appreciate about health is understanding that it gives me the mental edge that I need in life, right? Like, I'm now in the top 1% of people because most people ain't walking around with 8% body fat all year round. And also the fact that I know what I'm doing, so I don't have any fear of losing this quote unquote status in my life, right? Like I can be 8% for the rest of my life because I know how to maintain it. And it's effortless for me. And that's actually what I believe is the most important thing in your journey, is to get to that place where your health is just effortless. It's just easy, right? And you just know what to do. You know the three questions I always say: what to eat, when to eat, how much to eat. Because if you know those three questions, the answers to those, anywhere you go in the world, you'll be fine. And your weight won't fluctuate, right? You'll be leaning down to your ideal body weight and staying there. You have all the energy that you need for whatever you're doing, your activity level, and things will just be much easier for you, right? See, most people don't know the answers to the what do I eat? When do I eat? How much do I eat? Most people don't know the answers to that. And that's why they're spinning their wheels, right? It's literally that simple. So, of course, there's emotional stuff underneath there, but giving you that mental edge, right? So, like, for example, when I'm going to the gym and I'm training, I've got that mental edge when I'm training, right? Because pushing against the resistance is literally a metaphor for life. And Arnold Schwarzenegger talks about this, right? Life is about sets and reps. So when I'm pushing against the resistance on the last 2 to 3 reps of a set, and it's super hard, and I'm doing a squat, and it's like, I'm pushing, like that's doing something for me, right? Like I'm getting more strength, more personal power, more self-belief that I can push against the resistance and actually triumph and come out on top and win, right? So I'm actually winning as I'm working out. And if you're not winning when you're working out, you'll stop. It's like in life, if you're not winning at something, inevitably most people will stop. So that's why I say, like, you got to do it for at least a 3 or 4 weeks, 2 to 3 to 4 weeks to get the momentum. And then after you get momentum, then you start seeing some wins. Then you start noticing more energy. You start noticing more strength, more muscle. And then that gives you that impetus to keep going because you're noticing the wins. But you've got to get started, right? And that's what I love about fitness is it's like, you can take away everything in my life, but give me the fitness and I'll make it back again because of the mindset, right? Like it gives you that mindset. It calluses your mind. Like everyone likes David Goggins and he talks about callousing, you know, when you like, grab the bar and you get the calluses on your hand, like that's what it does. You're growing like thick skin in your mind for pushing against resistance. So that's why I love strength training 3 times a week, and it gives me that strength and it gives me that belief in myself, that self-esteem, the confidence. And it's not just the external, right? It's not just the muscle. It's the inner confidence, the knowing that I can actually change my reality, and that is confidence, right? That's where it comes from. It's like, I know I can do this because I'm going to push, I'm going to try, I'm going to force my will on this thing, and I'm going to get the results, right? And how that's built, in my opinion, is from the gym, from lifting. I remember one of my friends who makes good money going into the gym and hiring a trainer, and I saw him with the trainer, and I saw him working out, and he was just being, for lack of a better word, a pussy about doing the exercises when it got hard. So he was on his like 8th rep, and he was like, oh, and he stopped. He's like, oh, it's too much, it hurts, it stopped, it hurts. And he stopped. And then my other friend, the trainer, he was like, dude, like, this is how you're showing up in your life. Like, when it gets hard, you stop. And then he was like, oh, fuck, yeah. And it's the same thing for me in jiu-jitsu, right? Like, sometimes it gets hard, and I'm like, fuck, I don't want to go back to the class again. This is hard. Like, whatever we're doing this week is really hard, so I just want to relax, you know? But it's showing me that that's actually where I'm falling short in my life. Like, I'm not going to do the hard things. So working out for me, it makes me realize, oh, this is a mirror for the rest of my life, because what you do in one area of your life, you do in all. So for me, I was not going hard in any area of my life, and working out revealed that to me, because I was like, oh, I'm not pushing myself to do the 11th rep and the 12th rep because it's going to be too hard, or I'm going to be too painful, too hurt. I'm going to have too much DOMS the next day, like delayed onset muscle soreness, like the aching the next day, right? Or I got training tomorrow, so I shouldn't go that hard. You know, like that kind of mindset was evident in all of my life, right? It's like, oh, I shouldn't do that, it's too much, or, you know, and that affects my results because I'm not going to the limits. I'm not going to my edge. There's a book called The Way of the Superior Man, which I recommend every man read. It's an amazing book. And he talks about every man should be at his edge. Like, I don't know if he says on a daily basis, but I believe on a daily basis, like the edge of your capabilities, right? So where you're like you're uncomfortable, you're outside your comfort zone. And doing the last 2 reps of a hard set, for example, that's where you're at the edge of your comfort zone. And for me, that's super important because that's personal development, right? I'm developing my mind as I'm doing that. And pushing yourself through discomfort consistently builds the mental strength, right? And it builds a discipline, and you become a higher level person. And in a lot of people, I was just at lunch, right? And I was asked, what do people say about you when they're not with you? And I was like, I don't know. I think discipline and consistency. So a lot of people say,
Oh, Aaron, you're so disciplined.
right?
Oh, Aaron, you're so consistent.
This is because of what I'm talking about. It's formed from working out and the identity that I want to adopt and the fear that I have of being in a hospital, right? So it's like, I'm so scared of that I will do all this work to be out of the hospital, right? That's my motivator. Was one of them. And the other one is the future pacing to 90 years old. I want to be that mobile 90-year-old that's still doing muscle ups, still doing strength training, still moving well, and just enjoy my life, because I believe freedom is 3 things. This is what came to me the other day when I was meditating. In my opinion, freedom is, firstly, it's the financial freedom to have enough money for whatever you want to do in life. Second, it's physical freedom, so the freedom to move pain-free, however you want to move within your body. And thirdly, it's verbal freedom, the freedom to express yourself how you want, whenever you want, and express how you feel, and not feel like you can't say something because you're going to get cancelled or someone's not going to like it or whatever. So that's freedom, in my opinion. And so I think that physical freedom is a huge part of life, right? Like, as I'm talking to you right now, I don't have full physical freedom, right? I have some back issues that I've been having for a long time, and I've got some hip issues that, sometimes come in the way. Like, for example, I wake up in the morning, I like do some external rotation and my hip clicks. Like, I didn't have that 3 years ago, right? So that's not, to me, physical freedom. So I'm working to fix that because, like I said, my goal is to be 90 years old and still be able to move freely within my body without any issues. And right now I'm 33 years old, and I know that if I don't do anything now, it's not going to get any better. And that's like most people that I speak to, like most successful entrepreneurs. Maybe you're a successful entrepreneur watching this, making 7, 8, 9 figures, but they're not focusing on their health, right? And they somehow are deluding themselves. I mean, we're all delusional to some degree, some more than others, but they're deluding themselves thinking that their health's just going to get better. Like, if you're not building muscle now, it's going to be harder to build muscle in 5 years. If you're not getting more mobile, more flexible now, it's going to be harder in 5 years. And so this is actually one of my weaknesses that I've realized recently, which is I've been so short-sighted in my life the last 10 years. And it's actually resulted in me not being where I want to be at this age of 33, which is, it's sad to say that for me, but now it's good that I know that, because now it's like, all right, let me take the next 10 years really seriously and really actually have a solid plan for where I want to be in the next 10 years, okay? And so for me, it's like, okay, long-term time horizon, right? Like, where do I want to be? What do I want to be doing? How do I want to be spending my time? And why is that important to me? Because if I'm not focusing on it now and making sure that it's an important thing, and I don't have if I have reasons for it, then it's going to be more anchored in the important bucket of my life, right? Because if I just want it, but I don't have any reasons, then I'm not going to get it, right? You need to have reasons. Reasons come first, answers come second, right? The how shows up. But if you have a reason for it, then it will happen. So for me, it's like, all right, what's my reason? Like, what are the reasons why I'm going to take my mobility seriously, and my nutrition, and my flexibility, and my strength? What reasons do I have to show me that I'm going to take it seriously? And so for you, that's what I'd say is like, what is it about the next 5-10 years in your health that you want to fix, and why is that important to you? And getting clear on that, because it's like, the best question in life is, what do you want, right? In every area. And then the next best question is, why do you want it? And then the next best question is, what are you willing to give up in order to get that? So those are the 3 questions, right? What do you want? Why do you want it? What are you willing to give up in order to get that? Because what you want, everyone wants to be a millionaire, but not many people are clear on why they want it. And then even fewer people are clear on what they are willing to do to give up to get that, right? And that's where I'm at now as well. It's like, do I really want what I say I want? Because if I really wanted it, I would have had it. And that's a crazy thought to think. It's like, if I really wanted to be a multi-millionaire, I would already be a multi-millionaire, right? If you really wanted to be 8% body fat, you would probably be 8% body fat. So you have to ask yourself and be really honest with yourself. Like, do you really want it? Because we all have 24 hours in a day. And so this is something that I've been brutally honest with myself about recently. Because at the start of the year, I'm like, I'm going to be a millionaire by the end of the year. And it hasn't happened, right? So the only person at fault is me. So then I have to ask myself, was I actually lying to myself? Or was I just missing something? And I think it's both. I think I was also lying to myself because of my actions, that my actions don't, most of my actions are supporting me being the healthy guy, right? Which is great, but they're not supporting me being the wealthy guy as well. And so I had to look at that and be like, all right, I'm not actually doing the things that are going to increase my wealth. I'm spending more time in my health. If I'm looking at how I spend my time, most of it is spent on my health. I'm either eating great food, going shopping, eating great food, or I'm working out in the gym, or I'm going jiu-jitsu. Like, it's a lot of it's spent on my health. So I'm like, okay, how much of that time is being spent on wealth? Because I said I want wealth, and it's disproportionate, right? So I've got to be honest with myself and say, look, I don't really want it. Based on my actions, I can't lie to myself and say I want it, because clearly I don't. Because if I did, I would be taking the actions necessary to get the results. And so, yeah, that's a huge thing for me, is just being really honest with myself and not lying to myself. Because I can lie to you, I can lie to them, I can lie to everyone else, but I can't lie to myself. And same for you, right? So, yeah, just being honest, being really honest. And yeah, man, fitness and health and fitness is it's a gateway to the best version of you, right? More confidence and better self-esteem. I just got some notes there, but that's really it. Like, it's helped me at the height of my powers in physical fitness. I felt unstoppable because, like, I just was building so much consistency, so much confidence in myself and belief in myself that I can do the hard things. And actually, one of my clients who enrolled with me, what was it, 4 years ago now, 5 years ago, probably 5 or 6 years ago, he was working a job, and then he came through my program, got amazing results. And then he said to me on the call, we had an interview, and he said, I believe in myself so much that now I'm going to quit my job and go and do my dream, which is to become a health coach. Fast forward 5 years, he's got hundreds of clients all around the world, and he's a health coach, and he's loving life. So that's an example of that. Like, once you realize you can do anything in this life through fitness being the catalyst, because if you can change your body, then you can change other aspects of your life as well, right? And it's just that knowing, like, that first epiphany that you get of like, oh fuck, like, I just changed how I look. Just from my sheer application and hard work, I can change other parts of my life as well. Let's do that. Let's go change this. Let's go change this relationship. Let's go change my bank account. Let's go change the relationship with my parents. Like, whatever it is for you, right? Like, let's go learn this new instrument. Let's go live in this new country, learn this language, right? Whatever it is, you can do that because now you realize how much power you actually have. And this was true for me. This was true for lots of other people in health and fitness, right? And so I just wanted to share this because this is what we're really talking about, is changing your reality, your personal reality. And it starts with changing yourself. And a lot of that is you can understand yourself better in the gym and eating better and treating yourself better, because at the bedrock of all of this is self-love, right? The more love you give yourself, the more confidence you have, the more self-esteem you have, and the more love you have to give other people, and the better your life is. All right, so if you found this video helpful, go give it a like, comment underneath this if you resonate with anything I said, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. If you want help on how we're getting you into the amazing shape and really helping you with this journey and holding your hand along the way, go ahead and click the link below, book your free call with us, and I'll talk to you in the next video. My name is Aaron. Ciao.